All right, hello. So today I'm here on my channel with Electric. We are
The Mancini the Amazing.
we are going to be going through a season review between our two teams, the Dover Delmise and the Intelligent Leon. Um, just we started with a couple of Pokemon that we both have that we wanted to talk about and kind of branch out from there. So um, we'll look here at the teams and abstract. Um,
Yeah,
So I got I have that up now. So yeah, the two Pokemon that kind of caused this video to happen are Thundurus and Lycanroc. But I think
mm,
beyond just talking about them, there's interesting stuff to look at between the two teams and how we built around those two because they were both pretty important members of our team.
absolutely. So as you were saying, just before we started recording, so you were third in your draft order in your conference. I was in the other conference, and I was 13th. And we wound up making very different decisions about when we went for different when we went for different Pokemon. Obviously, you picking Thundurus third overall, and then me taking Thundurus. That's what, like 52nd or something overall.
Yeah, it was way later in the draft, and then you took Lycanroc with your second pick, and I was kind of surprised that I was able to get it, but I got it with my fifth pick. So
Absolutely.
kind of like switched orders, but you know, it shows how interesting the differences in the draft in general were between the two conferences.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the Pokemon I went way earlier in my div than yours. Like I think Aggron, and there were several people who wanted to get Aggron the same round I did. I think Aggron went like round 9 or 10 of yours, and like it was competed for round 5 and 9. Uh,
Yeah,
so it's definitely something interesting.
I had actually considered drafting Aggron late to have another steel type, and it got sniped from me.
Hmm.
Um, and then also
I
Rhydon got sniped from me because I kind of wanted Rhydon too.
yeah, no ground type moment,
But
but obviously both of us did all right. You 6-1, first overall seed in your div. Me 5-2, fourth overall seed in my div. I am ranked below several 4-3 teams in terms of relative seed.
yeah, the draft went pretty well for me. I was pretty happy with the performance of. I think Thundurus was my second kill leader, and then Lycanroc was the third. But I mean, obviously, Registeel is kind of the big dog on my
It
squad,
may have
so
overshadowed them a bit.
a little bit.
So I think one of the first things we want to talk about, it's a little bit briefer, but how the two of us used Lycanroc differently to one another.
Yes. So here you can see
The main items each of us used.
yeah, so I used almost exclusively Life Orb, except for 1 week
I,
where I did a bad meme build with Lumberry, which I would never do again.
was that next to Discharge?
No, it's next to... All right, it was next to Swagger on Thundurus.
Oh, well, that was that. Swagger on Thunderous there is interesting because the Thunderous doesn't even need to be like it's prankster because it's still just faster than Lycanroc.
Yeah, it's true. And I ran wide lens because I was trying to test it out to see if it even worked, and I missed. So I was like, nope, and I ran wide lens, and I won that week, but I had no business winning that.
I've seen all of your videos. I still don't remember. There's too much content. Clearly, I've forgotten some of the gems. I'm just remembering you in your brightest moments, not the interesting ones.
Oh yeah, that one's I didn't yeah, it didn't even work out. Like I ate my lumber because I got paralyzed by discharge and didn't even notice. So yeah. We don't need to
Wait.
talk about that.
Oh, incredible. Because I know you ran it next to Discharge, but you ran it next to Discharge, and you're like, oh well, it lives a thunderous Discharge,
hmm
but you were Life Orb,
Yeah.
so you would have just killed yourself anyway.
hmm
I didn't. I don't think that happened in the game. But that would have been funny.
Yeah,
Clearly,
that
I remember the recent prep a lot better than the a while ago prep.
yeah, and then so for you, it looks like you mostly used focus ash.
Yeah. So I brought this mon. You brought your Lycanroc to 5 of your games. I brought it to 6 of mine. I used Focus Sash half the time, and then one time I had an air balloon next to Earthquake. One time I had Life Orb, and then one time I had it with Rock Incense because another mon was using my Life Orb. I was probably also using the Sash now that I think about it. I feel like I am a big like Focus Sash endorser because I think I ran one every game.
Yeah, I can definitely see Sash being good on this thing because it sort of it dies to a stiff breeze, so having that guaranteed hang on is
You know
pretty
what
good.
I just realized is funny? So one of the things that makes Lycanroc-Dusk a good Sasha in singles is that it has access to Endeavor, which I did not use once.
Oh yeah, that's actually I saw someone use Endeavor very successfully. I don't remember who it was. I think it was.
Yeah, someone did use Endeavor. I don't remember who it was. But I remember someone using it.
Yeah, man.
One of the things I really liked about Lycanroc is next to Aggron, Aggron with Sturdy and Lycanroc with Focus Sash, I can both just click rock moves.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was cool. I don't think it really did anything, but you know, it was cool.
Yeah, damn, it was cool. Yeah.
But yeah, generally beyond that, you ran. I mean, we both ran like you ran Play Drop a lot, and I ran Close Combat a lot in terms of our main damaging like coverage move. We both ran Accelerock a lot. I ran Stone Edge a decent bit, and you ran Rock Slide a lot. And you dropped Protect a couple times, which
Yeah.
I am a coward, so I never did.
Yeah, I dropped it 1 week for Quick Guard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that was also the week I lost. I don't.
Look,
I
I guess you could say that your opponent really had your goose.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Yeah, they really got your goose. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your chances were slim.
Yeah, he's gonna hold that one over me, that's for sure. But it's okay. We
And you
can.
weren't holding the one from the online series.
It's
After
okay.
you were the graceful friend.
There's still a time for rematch, so we'll see if it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I I never even considered Stone Edge because I
Oh,
did not want to miss. I hate.
you were running Rock Slide and Play Rough.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like Stone Edge is what's it? Isn't it like 80 accuracy or something like
Yeah, it's
that?
80 instead of 90.
Yeah.
I mean they all still miss.
Yeah, it's true. They do still miss.
Oh yeah. You also never ran Raw. Clearly you weren't that worried about opposing Trick Room.
No, yeah, because I mean, half the time I kind of wanted Trick Room, so yeah.
That's true. That's true. Um, yeah. And then just beyond that, we basically ran pretty similar rates of Jolly most weeks, Admo once. This one gets another ability, but I don't think, but neither of us ever ran it. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head. But I think it does get like Dead Fast. No, that's the other one. Does this one only get one ability? No,
But
yeah, okay, this one only gets one ability. I
yeah,
think the
so
other two get two abilities at least.
yeah, the
They will get
others
three.
have Keen Eye or Sand Rush, and then I think the midday form has Keen Eye and Sand Rush, and
And
Steadfast is this hidden
Steadfast.
ability, and then the Midnight is Vital Spirit and No Guard.
Yeah. The No Guard, I kind of wish this one had.
Yeah, because then you can run Stone Edge.
Yeah, it's not even boosted by Tough Claws, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, the I really enjoyed this Pokemon's coverage. Like it
Mm,
fairly one dimensional in that you're using it for pure offense, but like
yeah.
it has
Quick physical moves.
so many moves that you can put on it that
Absolutely.
like Player Off won me some games just because
Yeah.
I need a fairy type move and I didn't have. I mean, I had a fairy type, but I didn't use it that much.
Damn. And after it did so well for you that one game as well. No, Play Rough is interesting. I use Play Rough, I think, for Komodo. I mostly use Close Combat because my team didn't feel as good into Steel types, so that's what it was for. And it's also just really strong with Tough Claws.
Yeah, I also used actually Player Off for Kamo. That was like the biggest usage of it, I think, because
Mm.
it kills it like twice over, which is good.
I think I looked at a calc which showed that with the Berry Berry it can live Play Rough,
Oh, really?
which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, but then it's got no item, so
Yeah, yeah, definitely a trade-off for it. So yeah, Lycanroc-Dusk, pretty one note, but the one note's pretty good. And you also use Quick Guard for support. I used Raw for support. So we both took different support options out of it. and used it to some effect.
Yeah, I think the opponent probably assumes it's all out offense, so having a cheeky support option come out of nowhere is pretty good to
Yeah, for sure.
surprise them every once in a while.
Yeah, but generally, strong rock move kind of good. Priority strong rock move, pretty good. And now onto like a mod that was a bit more of a mess
Yeah,
in terms of what we ran.
this one's I
Hey,
kind of interesting. So we get Thundurus here.
so the two items both of us ran, most of the time we both ran citrus berry. Well, I say most, but like it's only I think for me it was just over half, for you it was just under half.
mhm.
And then we both ran specs once. Um, but you were a big fan of the mental herb, eh?
Yeah, a lot of my game plans with Thundurus relied on him being able to either slow people down with Thunderwave,
Mm.
which I do want to talk about Thunderwave in a moment too, um, and also just like being able to, taunt if I need it, and
Yeah,
I think some weeks it it kind of like my whole
just
plan
playing a
hinged
rain
on,
dance.
yeah. Rain Dance, especially, yeah, there were some weeks where like my whole prep felt like it hinged on Thunderous being able to press moves on turn one. So I valued the mental herb for that, but I don't think it actually ever came into relevance
Dropped.
really.
Yeah. Beyond that, you use wide lens. We discussed the swag a bit earlier. I used odd incense for some mon that was weak to psychic. I don't remember what. Probably Nidoking. I think it was Nidoking. And I used safety goggles against fungus. But mostly the two of us ran citrus berry. I think you were like looking at our things, and you ran like straight up HP, like basically full HP most games. And but then I ran when I was running bulky, I tended to run more like special defense or raw defense instead of max HP investment. Um, what was like your general thought process there? What made you decide to run raw HP instead of investing into the defensive stats?
For me, I'm still learning a lot of things with this prep kind of thing. Like
Mm,
since I hadn't done it before now. So like prepping and like running calcs on things is still something I'm trying to nail down. And a lot of times,
mm,
like when I focus more on offensive calcs, since I a lot of times don't have a great idea of what to expect offensively from the opponent. So
sense.
I'll just throw it in HP a lot of the time unless I know specifically like, yeah, this week they're gonna have a really strong physical attacker or special attacker. And with Thunder specifically, I was never really super concerned with it living too long, but I think that's why he ended up dying a lot for me, probably because I was a little risky with him. But I kind of just wanted him to get me into the mid game safely, and then let Registeel just kill everything.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So I guess that does kind of get the elephant in the room. I mean, I definitely just ran odd incense because I wanted it to not die to stuff. Um, I could have run a life form, but then I wouldn't have been able to run a life form on something else, and I wouldn't have been able to do a thing. Yeah, and both of us brought funny specs discharge. I think it worked out okay for you despite not having. Like, I think you used it next to Eldegoss, and I think you sacked him on into discharge.
Yeah, it worked really well for one game, and then he pressed Trick Room, and I got owned 2 games in a row. But that one game it worked. It was pretty good. So
Yeah, I mean, mine was fine as well. Flygon didn't wind up doing anywhere near as much as I hoped because I had a Scarf Flygon with Bulldoze and Earthquake, but then they had a Scarf Alolan Persian with Quash and Icy Wind, so Flygon didn't get to do very much. Um, an interesting thing, but yeah. So now we get kind of yeah, and we ran both kind of like ran the gamut in terms of offensive options and defensive options. You didn't run Protect super much on it. I ran Protect on it significantly more than you did, but even then, like I ran it in what 4 of 7 games. You ran it in 2 of 6 or 7. Is that still 7? Yeah, 2 of 7 games, 3 of 7 games.
yeah, that sounds
I
about
can't
right.
count. I ran offensive. I ran Grassnot a lot. I think that's just because I was a bit spooked. And then yeah, we both ran Scary Face a couple times, or you ran it once, but you ran Scary Face or Thunderwave. Um, Eerie Impulse is another common thing. You never ran setup on it, I notice. Well, you ran setup for your partner Mon and Swagger, but you never ran bulk up or nasty plot,
Yeah, that's correct.
despite running physical ones.
I had actually considered set up Thundurus at some point, but I just never felt confident
Mm.
enough that I'd be able to pull it off without it just dying.
I was really well. I was really like a 50-50 on setup Thunderous, like nasty plot or bulk up on that game. You ran Defiant physical once. I ran Defiant twice, and both of the times were because it was physical, and then I wound up making it special last minute and not changing the ability to prankster. No. And you never ran the defensive nature on Thunderous. You ran timid, adamant, and modest, whereas I had ran calm one of the games.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I hadn't considered running a defensive nature, but with how I use it as
I had
support, that's
strength board, to be fair.
yeah, I did. But but even in hindsight, like, I think that's something interesting for me to consider because I have been using this Pokemon mostly for support and
Yeah, still running offensive natures.
yeah, but a lot of
But
it
like,
for speed, but since it outspeeds a lot of
no,
things already, so
you only had Oh no, okay, sorry. And I was looking at Mike's. It's like I only ran timid once. Yeah, you ran timid over half the times, but you ran adamant once and modest twice. Obviously, speed is a relevant sport of nature, but also if you're prankster, what's the point of running speed?
yeah, a lot of so one thing I used Thunders for a bit was using Leer next to Lycanroc, so I could press Leer and then
Mm.
Rock Slide. Um, but yeah,
But if
so
you're prankster, you don't need speed for that.
that's true. That's actually a good point. Is if it's going to be outspeeding things anyway,
Yeah,
or yeah, maybe you don't even need. Yeah, that's actually something I should consider more.
it's funny because I ran more average speed, but I think that's because I just ran straight up offensive. Like, I ran nasty plot one time. I ran modest as well a few times, so I could afford to take out the special attack stats. Whereas if you're running speed with timid, you're technically investing more in speed than I am.
Hmm.
But I have more speed EVs just because I need more because I'm modest.
Hmm.
Which is a bit funny. So now we come to, I think there's really a question I think all of us are wondering about, and I think we can finally answer it. You know, if you look at the two teams and the roles different, Mons portrayed and performed and whatnot, you know, do you think that that's the case?
Is Ribombee actually Registeel?
Uh, do we feel like we're in a position to answer this question?
I don't know. I,
Mm.
I think that,
I think if we look closely,
yeah, I
we
might have
might
to.
see the answer.
Yeah, you might have to get a little metaphysical to analyze that, but yeah, I think the answer is no. But
So, Ribombee was my kill leader. Registeel was your kill leader. I kind of um, did a lot of plans where like, okay, this is how I can do stuff so that Ribombee can kill things. But I also use Ribombee as support more often. You ran offensive-ish. You ran setup Registeel a lot.
hmm.
Um, whether it was body defense iron press, whether it was meteor beam special, or whether it was weakness policy. I think you would probably term all of them as setup, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Um, most of them didn't like Willows particularly much.
Yeah, that was
As
actually a counter that Goose brought to actually
yes,
absolutely shut it down in week 7. He just burned it and it was
yeah,
done.
that's what you should have brought the meteor beam set.
I know that's too powerful. I can't use it too often.
Yeah, but look, if I was picking something, sometimes you just have to cook a goose. That meteor beam zap cannon that would have done it.
Oh wow, that actually.
I don't know if Registeel gets zap cannon in this format. I'm pretty sure it gets in that text. Um, but yeah, Registeel was really good. My Ribombee was, I think, generally a lot more immediately offensive, but it does also both of them were just kind of things where we used Lycanroc and Thundurus to kind of remove other Pokemon or limit their damage output so that our main kind of killers could kill. Would you say that was accurate?
Yeah, definitely. For me, I use Thundurus. Like I had Rain Dance sometimes to help protect against fire type attacks.
Hmm.
You'd have I have Thunder Wave in case um there were
You made
like
something smaller than Registeel.
yeah, usually even that wasn't enough to make Registeel faster than them, but
Yeah, I was gonna say. You used Leah to make stuff take more from body press.
yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah,
And so what did you do?
used Dark Pulse a lot.
I did use Dark
Um,
Pulse a lot.
I mostly just clicked attacking moves and taunt. Uh, I clicked Scary Face a couple times. I've all switched into stuff so that Registeel, so that Ribombee could get in. That's what I noticed. You didn't use Volt Switch ever.
Yeah, and you didn't use Thunder Wave.
No, but Scary Face and Thunderwave are the same move, except one of them doesn't miss.
That's true, but one doesn't have a chance to
All
have
right,
them
yeah.
not do anything. But yeah, a fair trade off.
Not everyone is a powerful wide lens user such as yourself. You know? I'm what those in the business call a coward. Um,
Fair enough. And yet you run Stone Edge, but
I mean, I'm not that scared. You know, you run Rock Slide more often than like I would often just not run a non-Excel rock move, so all my moves were accurate. I think I only ran Stone Edge twice.
hmm
Both the times it was important, you know.
yeah,
And
fair
sometimes
enough.
your opponent just has to know that their Pokemon needs to die.
Yeah, they need to die really, really hard. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So the real question is, and this was, I think, a conundrum that Lycanroc, Dusk, and Thundurus both shared, and Registeel also was concerned about. Have you seen the show BoJack Horseman?
I have not.
Okay, I do recommend it, but that's the show that I got this. It's a game show within there is what this is based off. So it's ground types. What do they know? Do they know things? Let's find out. So the ground types were a major concern for both of our teams, and both of us drafted, I think, relatively similar sort of things to try and check ground types. So we both had two offensive waters. We both picked like a lower tier grass type, and we both picked two like ground immunities beyond just the Thunderous. Though mine are levitates, and you had a combination of levitate and another flying type. Um, so was that like what you were thinking about when you went double water? Was the main were you thinking about that in the sense of, oh, I'm concerned about opposing ground types, or like what was the thought process there?
Yeah, that's kind of how it worked out. I was mostly, drafting for type coverage and looking at what I
Mm,
was weak to, and water. Water itself is a really, really good type, right? So,
absolutely, absolutely.
defensively, especially. So,
Yeah.
having I mean,
Oh yeah,
not
Borderment
Crawdon,
and
that's for
Sharpedo,
sure.
defensive stalwarts.
um, yeah. So having water types to sit next to Registeel, Lycanroc
Yeah.
to scare off the ground types is really important because if with Registeel being like my whole team pretty much, if it gets singled out, then it's really tough for me to come back
Yeah.
from that. So I really need to
So
protect him.
I think a way that you support Registeel was by pressuring opposing rock types a lot, because if they had to deal with Lycanroc and they had to deal with Thundurus and they had to deal with Registeel, and on top of that, your fourth mob was an offensive water, or it was something like Articuno, Galar, or Uxie, where it's threatening them with consistent damage while being immune to their stab. I think that was a lot of the thought process here.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, I mean, I don't think I had as coherent a thought process. Well, no, you were saying that yours was also a little bit less coherent. You were just looking for nice things. It just kind of worked out that way. I think mine was pretty similar to that, where I just was like, okay, I'm it's like I'm worried about ground type. Why don't I get a water type that hits it and intimidates them? And I picked up Flygon because I needed a ground type myself. Obviously, you didn't wind up getting a ground type. There really were not a lot of options for ground types. I think that I had to look at like 4 points if I wanted to get anything below Flygon that was free. Um, and like I still had points left over after getting Flygon as my last. Um, yeah, and then so I wound up picking Pumpkaboo and Flygon right at the end because they helped my matchup into ground and electric, uh, which I assume because I think you got Eldegoss towards the end of yours as well.
Yeah, Eldegoss didn't seem like it was on anybody's radar, so I was able to get
Hmm.
it pretty late. Um,
I mean, you got it earlier than I got Pumpkaboo. Hey, it was cheaper than Pumpkaboo was. What is this?
yeah, I
Oh,
was. I felt like it did some pretty decent stuff for me too. Like it has a lot of options,
absolutely.
so I think it.
No, Eldegoss, I think, really stood out on your team as an effective mod. Um, Cotton Spore was good with Registeel. Uh, I don't, I don't know if you actually used it that much. One of the things that I was looking at was you can throw. So like if you do have the opposing team parrot, whatever, or they're just slower, you can throw Eldegoss in a slot next to Registeel, and if it takes a hit, let alone 2 hits, then Registeel's clear body means its speed's not getting dropped, and the opposing teams are getting their speed dropped.
Yeah, I actually never ran. I don't think I ever ran Cotton Down. I think it was always Regenerator, but that was
That makes sense.
one of the things that I considered frequently when I was prepping Eldegoss was like, is this a good time for me to bring out Cotton Down and put it next to Registeel and slow them down? But in a lot of cases, the teams I was playing against, it was like even at minus, if I lower their speed once, it still doesn't really make a huge
Yeah,
difference.
yeah.
So it was better to
No, the
just.
key is you got to Earthquake with the Registeel, so you get the extra speed drop. They have to hit Eldegoss twice, and then Registeel also has to Eldegoss, and then at -6,
That's true,
they might
actually.
still be faster than Registeel.
They might still be faster than Registeel. Because
I don't think anything actually is at -6.
I'm
But
never
you'll
putting an EV into that thing's speed. So
That's actually interesting because I ran Aggron, which is the same speed as Registeel base, I believe. I think they're both base 50. And I did run speed once. I also ran negative speed a lot because it was anti-trick room. But yeah. Um, yeah, I think Eldegoss is pretty interesting. Um, I ran Pumpkaboo offensively the 1 week I ran it. I know that you ran Grass Knot because it was strong.
yeah, because Rhydon dies to
Yeah.
literally
And I
any
think you
special
ran,
grass move.
was it Giga Drain the other week?
I think that sounds right. It was
Hmm.
either Giga Drain or Energy Ball. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I was trying to remember which of the two it was as well. And Helping Hand, I think both weeks, which is pretty good. Helping Hand's a good move.
Yeah, it is a really good move. Helping Hand, Pollen Puff. I think I
Hmm.
used aromatherapy 1 week to get rid of
I know.
sleep.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. I remember. I remember spotlighting that in Value Town. You used the aromatherapy on your trick room setup.
Yep, because I was getting sleep powder spammed.
Oopsie. Yeah. I was like, I'm trying to remember who your trick room setup was, and it's literally on the screen in front of me. Yeah. No, I thought that was really cool. Um, Beyond that, yeah. So I think your Eldegoss is pretty good. Grass is honestly, um, matchup matchup to matchup. Sometimes it's a really surprisingly good offensive type on a defensive mod.
hmm
Because if it gets super effectives, like it, there are a lot of good Pokemon that resist it. But if you're hitting their partner slot and their partner slot is either a frail mon that doesn't resist it or a decently tanky mon that's weak to it, the grass mons are surprisingly effective at getting some damage in. Like I know I even pressured like Oranguru, which is a pretty tanky mon, by hitting it with Grass Knot from Thundurus and Seed Bomb from Pumpkaboo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Beyond
a
that, ground immunities, eh?
gotta love them.
uh, I think your Galarcuno did relatively similar to my Flygon, where came a couple weeks and was often on the bench or kind of like a third mon, fourth mon in a team of four. But I think you brought both Trick Room and Tailwind on one of them, the sets, right?
Yeah, I think I did. I think 1 week I had an imprisoned trick room. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, then I used Tailwind won me one of the games that I used it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't use it as much as I think I wanted to. I think I didn't trust it enough. Which, um,
Well, it did miss a Hurricane.
yeah. But I used it a lot in Sword and Shield, but with a
Hmm.
in the Dynamax format, and like it's just
It's
kind of
really good.
it kind of ingrained
It's
my
like I
brain that like it just dies so easily that I was afraid to use it a lot. But I think I should probably have considered
I
using it
think you
more.
ran it pretty offensively invested as well. I think if you invest in defenses, it does a lot.
Yeah.
It leaves hits better. I know, wacky concepts.
True. Yeah, I
Um,
don't think I don't think I played around this Pokemon as well as I could have, but
yet.
it was a welcome. Yeah, still there,
Yeah.
still there.
So, Uxie, tanky Sportmon most weeks, and it did not work out the one time you tried to run an offensive. But how'd you feel about it as a support option?
I loved it as a support option. Its stat for me is like it came to 13 games and it was like 0 kills. It was there were a lot of weeks I think I didn't even have a move that did damage on it, except for maybe I think sometimes I'd have foul play. But
I
there were
think
some
you did
weeks,
lose the series because it was the last mon alive. Not a series, sorry, like a single game
yeah,
because it was the last mon alive,
because
and they
it
just ignored it the whole time.
yeah, and it couldn't do anything. But
I know there was one league I was in where the last 2 weeks I played someone who had a Mesprit with no moves, and then someone had a Zero Aura whose only move was Fling and Fake Out. And both of those game series I won just by ignoring the Zero Aura or the Mesprit until I had like one mon left that barely killed it with all my PP.
that's crazy.
Um, so if we do wind up seeing each other in maximum finals, be sure to bring at least one move on the UC. I'm really good at having one mon left. It'll probably be so fetch knowing me. uh, yeah, Latias I found to be a bit underwhelming. Its damage is not very good, and its survivability is not really good. I think it's a mod that benefits really much from Fake Out, and both of us are good sportsman-like players who do not draw Fake Out. So, I think that also probably impacts your Articuno usage as well.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really have anything. You don't have your free help the Pokemon not die button every first turn,
Yeah,
so it's a little bit
it's like have a
riskier.
safe turn sort of thing.
Yep.
Um, I know when I ran dual screens, Latias not having Fake Out basically lost me that series. Um, no, it's dual screens or a Ribombee with weakness policy Latias, but yeah, getting one screen up is not as good as getting two screens up.
Yeah.
As I realized, we didn't actually talk about the water types. So Clawdon and Sharpedo. Water and Dark's a really good offensive combination, but you keep running the physical one. Did you know you can run special? It's got like 85s per attack and still has adaptability.
I guess I did. I maybe I knew that in the back of my mind, but I never really considered it just because of how good Aqua Jet is.
It is good, and you can still run that on special.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
But Nasty Plot is also really good. It's super fast. I don't think it gets Swords Dance, right? It just gets like Dragon Dance, or it might get Swords Dance as well. But Nasty Plot's super fast, and also it doesn't care about Intimidate is a major thing. And it has Spread Move. Spread Move funny.
That
They start missing moves after you miss Muddy Water first.
that's actually another interesting thing that like I didn't really consider because I kind of had a more narrow-minded focus with less experience.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's actually interesting.
Yeah. I think you mostly rank Liquidation, not Crab Hammer, even though Crab Hammer's broken.
Yeah, but I'm a coward.
Not still like knockouty enough to not run a Rock Slide. I think Poliwrath you ran Muddy Water on once, or was it just Scald? I know you ran Scald a couple at least. I'm trying to pass both Poliwraths from like you and Daddy's thing and trying to remember which ones were yours and which ones were his. I
Yeah,
know you ran Bulldoze to proc a weakness policy on Registeel. I know you ran CC a couple times.
yeah. CC and I think CC and Waterfall were my two main stabs with that, and then I'd run like coaching.
Do you remember the only Quillfish I ran?
No,
It was uh, it was
surf,
Rain Dance support,
rain dance.
and my opponent brought Hard Trick Room.
How'd that go?
My opponent set Trick Room off every game, and I didn't bring Quillfish. No, I brought no. No, the worst thing was they had Psychic on Cofagrigus in an O-code my Quillfish the one game I brought it.
Oh, that's
I was
rough.
like, no, what? That's so rude. It's a tragedy.
It's okay.
Quillfish is a funny one.
Yeah, you can put a Violate on it next gen, can't you? Or will that not work with the non Hisuian
It
one?
doesn't work on regular Farfetch'd.
Oh, that sucks.
I know. Um, I mean, imagine running Eviolite on regular Liner. Wouldn't do anything, but it'd be funny. Your opponent comes in, expects you to belly drum and sweep them, but actually you just kind of sit there and don't do
You
very
just
much.
you just don't do anything. You're just running diversion. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the interesting question to ask is, um, I think the two of us came with a pretty different philosophy for how we approach spread moves. Um, would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, I think it. Just looking at like Lycanroc, for example, shows that I valued Rock Slide a lot and you didn't at all.
I mean, I ran it one time because it was a really useful. It was a really useful support move to just like get them damaged to the point that they die to Ribombee.
Mm-hmm.
But like I ran Rock Incense on that. I think I ran Life Orb. I didn't run Rock Slide on that one. When I ran Earthquake, I ran Choice Scarf once, and then I only clicked Bulldoze, not Earthquake. Actually, thinking back to the series, I might have clicked Iron Tail and Outrage, not Bulldoze or Earthquake. Um, but like I ran Soft Sand with Earthquake to do extra damage. Um, and then you also had your Freezing Glare, Expert Belt, Galacuno, which I don't remember if that set ever like hit the field or clicked a Freezing Glare, but you did have it with a boosting item. Um, yeah, I mostly look at it as, hey, this move allows me to put them in range of my single target move, or it's Disquake and the two moves together are good, but then I still need to run coverage in case they run a Pokemon that doesn't get died to a double up.
Yeah,
Um,
I can see it. Like, the Rock Slide on Lycanroc did a ton of damage, especially if I press Leer first. But yeah, I don't think it was ever. It
I
wasn't
think
really
Leah was a
one
big
shotted.
part,
Yeah,
like having both Leah and the Life Orb. Because, like, I mean, my thought process for spread moves is they get subtracted a quarter of their damage off, so they're less powerful than single target moves. Rock Slide itself is only base 75. Um, but when you're adding Leah, is Leah -1?
yeah, it's -1 on both.
So that's more than that's more than making up for the reduction from spread type damage. And when you're adding a life orb, that's then also an extra 1.3 times multiplier to do it. It's pretty good. It's strong. It's definitely more damage.
Yeah, I like more damage. Damage is good.
Why do I have to play as a fast team? Also playing someone. I think both of us are playing dishonest players who run fake out.
Oh, I haven't even really. I know. I'm pretty sure I play against Circuitry. That's the only thing I know about the team I play. I haven't really looked at it
Yeah.
yet.
With look, um, you definitely do play against circuitry and Babaswine.
Oh God. Well, I wonder what they're
Uh,
gonna do.
well, I want the. I'm honestly, I don't know if I'm expecting the earthquake next to the Earth. The thing about Disquake with Circuitry is not ground immune. It just dies.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm kind of expecting the ice move as about as much as the ground move. Now they're gonna superpower your Registeel.
Oh, they could just run
Uh,
air balloon on their Circuitry. That'd be. Oof. No, don't
I
do that
ran. I
actually.
did that with Lycanroc. I ran Air Balloon Lycanroc so it could be next to Earthquake, and I never clicked it or led Lycanroc.
It's funny how that happens. You do the plan, you think, wow, this is gonna be so good, and then you just don't use it.
Well, the thing is, so week one I brought Disquake, and I didn't bring Flygon in like subsequent games after game one because I realized, oh, if I click Earthquake next to any Pokemon that isn't Thundurus or Latias, like I just kill them.
Yep.
So, so I was like, okay, well I don't really like bringing Disquake anymore. And then in the last game, I just clicked Iron Tail and Outrage, neither of which affect my partner's line because they brought like 4 Levitate mons or something. They brought Lunatone. What if I gonna do against the Lunatone? The answer to that is Choice Band to Pump Crew.
The MVP.
Quick Sneak, switch out, click Seed Bomb. Yeah, that's what it's like. Lunatone, Zapdos, Galar, and I think that was another ground immunity. It was not the greatest week for ground type spam,
Hmm.
but the discharge that was pretty good.
Yeah, discharge is busted. You just get double pairs all the time, and
I don't think I got a single para.
then oh, well, that's unfortunate.
To be fair, I only kicked it like twice.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, ultimately, I should probably try running more immediate offense. Like I ran a fairly offensive Thundurus, and then you ran offensive EVs on Thundurus with a defensive moveset, um, which is interesting. Then ultimately, there's also a couple other mons that both of us had that didn't see as much play this season. Do you want to cover the leftovers?
Yeah, the leftovers. So we had a few other Pokemon on the team that we use them, but they weren't really the bread and butter.
Hmm.
So for me, I had Buffalont, Slotoros. I used him like a couple
My
times.
favorite's a Taurus. Your Taurus has Intimidate, right?
Whatever. Yeah.
Buffalont, funny trick room mod.
Yeah, I used it in Trick Room. It was okay. Like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it
it was.
did what it was supposed to
Absolutely
do.
was.
I had Flareon, which we don't need to talk about Flareon. I should have. The one time I used it was a mistake. And then Rapidash Galar was my fairy type, and because there weren't very many fairy types, especially late in the draft.
I actually used like um Gapadash in like a regular thing once. I rate it pretty. It's pretty alright.
Yeah, it's good other than its abilities. If it had good ability, like if I had a single good ability, then I think it would
No,
be
no,
a
no. What
pretty
you don't
solid.
understand is if your opponent blundered and didn't run sheer force, they were like rivalry on their Nidoking, and then they poisoned you. Pastel Veil would heal the poison.
That's true. I actually did run
Well,
it.
like if you get poison jabbed, you know.
I did run it the week I was against. Oh,
When I had it, I always ran anticipation, and it told me about one move they had.
yeah, I don't even know if I ever
Oh no, no,
noticed it.
that's not anticipation. That's a forewarn.
I think
Yeah, yeah. It
anticipation.
was just like it shuddered.
Yeah, it just says, oh, if they have a move that's super effective, you shudder. Oh, great, thanks.
So
Real helpful.
that's good scouting. You get to know if they have a ghost, poison, or steel move.
Like, yeah, oh no, Weavile's got a dark move or whatever,
Well,
like,
dark is neutral.
or yeah, sorry, whatever has a steel move, like Steelix has a steel move. Oh, thanks.
When I played Orangaroo, it would have been perfect because the Orangaroo was mono Shadow Ball. I was like, what the hell? Uh,
And then so on your side, what were your
for
leftovers?
Aggron. Aggron came to 2 games. It was okay. Um, well, he didn't hit the field in one of them, but did it actually? I don't know. It had really bad Rock Blast rolls in one of them, but I won anyways. Magmar clicked Heat Wave, and it clicked Helping Hand. Both of them were okay. Both of them were support. Surfetch was in the back of teams of 6 so many times. I genuinely don't know if it ever hit the field. I guess I could check. But like it's really threatening. It's just it was a question of positioning. I think there was a game where I had it as a 4th mon, and then I won with the 2 mons on lead. Um, like they really just did not want Surfetch to thrive.
Yeah,
Surfetched.
he's like the bodyguard for the team. He just
Yeah, no,
stands in
it
the back
literally
and
never
looks
hit the
threatening.
field.
He's just there like the bouncer, yeah, to scare people off.
This mon came to team preview like 4 or 5 times and never hit the field.
That's great.
Uh,
It's conditioning for the one time you do bring it. They'll never see it coming.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, it was 3 times. It was in team preview. 3 teams in a row as well, 2 to 4. Or no, I think one of them was week 5 because one of my week 5 and 4 was swapped around because they were delayed. I don't know. I have it named after who I was playing. Um, it brought such many items as its unique item that increases crit rate. Unique item that increases crit rate, and unique item that increases crit rate. That's right. I ran it with like max defense and like no attack investment most games.
Pokepaste doesn't even have its picture. I was trying to find it. I couldn't see the picture for it because it wasn't loading.
Oh, your Surfetch sprite isn't loading
Yeah, like on the actual pastes themselves.
on the
It's just
slideshow. Oh, on that, no, it doesn't work because of the apostrophe in its name.
oh, that's some great.
Uh, a couple other mods don't work in pastes.
I feel like that would be
Similar
really
thing.
easy to fix, but interesting.
So, spoilers. Programming is really stupid, so it's not.
Yeah,
It expects it to do some programming nonsense.
yeah,
You have to like change what language you're writing Pokepaste in to do that.
I actually tried looking through their source because I was working on something myself where I was using PokePaste, and yeah, they use all this newfangled shiny stuff that I've never used. I
Newfangled shiny stuff, isn't it just in wiki
No, I think they like redid
markup?
it. Like the actual format of the paste themselves, but like what they use to actually render it all
Yeah, yeah,
is like they use
like the
Go.
programming.
Yeah, they use Go or something.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't actually use their.
I haven't looked at it in like 2 gens. I haven't coded in 2 gens, to be fair. It's like I've done a bit of like video game modding. That's about it. But sometimes you just need the ability for Australia to explode. I need that independent Tasmania. All right. Are there any questions you have, or any other last thoughts?
No, not really. I think we did a pretty good job of covering our two teams and talking about our philosophies. So, yeah, thanks for.
And hopefully, both of us will be able to learn from each other to develop as better players throughout playoffs, so that we can see each other in finals, and we'll finally have a respectful finals in VBL. Unlike all of this gross, unsportsmanlike stuff that's happened every other season, we need to have no fake out in finals.
Yeah, all those other finals have an asterisk because they involved fake out, but ours will be the first
Yeah,
one that really counts. Yep.
exactly, exactly. All right, thanks a lot, Sora. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for you were the one who kind of initiated this, so thanks for getting it kicked off
Hmm.
and organizing it. So hopefully it was hopefully it's as fun to watch as it was to go through. So
All right. And my channel should be linked below, and also subscribe to Sora.
yeah, subscribe to both of us, not just me. Yeah, we'll have a link to his channel in my description, and yeah, that'll be it for this. The next thing you'll see from me will be hopefully uh the win that I have in round one of playoffs. So
Yeah, up against Sly and the Seattle Swallows.
yes, I should probably go look at their team.
Well, spoilers, but later today or early tomorrow, I'll be coming out with a video breaking down what Steve and I think about each matchup for playoffs. So, you might want to peep at that before you decide on your final.
Perfect. I know what I'll be
Oh,
doing later then. I'll be studying that closely.
I studied the blade.
Well,
All right, thank you.
yeah, thank you.